Welcome to the WION podcast. Let's dive straight into something pretty fascinating happening with, well, one of the biggest names in tech. You know those really top-of-the-line iPhones, the Pro and Pro Max models?
The fancy ones.
Exactly. Well, for the very first time, it looks like they're set to be manufactured in India this year.
Wow, okay. That is a shift.
Yeah, because previously, the vast majority were coming out of China. So let's unpack this a bit.
Okay. So what's particularly interesting here is Apple's partner, Foxconn. They're really spearheading this effort. They're apparently gearing up to assemble the brand new iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max in India pretty much right after the global launch.
Right after, so quite quickly then.
Seems like it. And they've even started training a significant number of workers, thousands actually.
Thousands, okay.
Yeah, down in Tamil Nadu, specifically for this production.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just like a one-off thing.
Right.
It feels like part of a bigger picture. Like Apple is making a deliberate move to spread its manufacturing out, beyond China.
Absolutely. And you have to figure geopolitical factors are playing a role here.
You mean the tensions, like between China and the U.S.?
Exactly. Those dynamics seem to be, well, influencing these kinds of decisions more and more.
Right. That makes sense.
And India is definitely emerging as a really key location in this diversification strategy.
So why India specifically? Is it just geography?
Well, geography helps, but it's likely also influenced by financial incentives, things the Indian government might be offering to attract this kind of high-end manufacturing.
Ah, okay. That makes sense too. And it sounds like India is already, well, a pretty important piece of Apple's manufacturing puzzle, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, look at the numbers. In the last fiscal year, the one ending March 2024, Apple apparently assembled iPhones worth around $14 billion in India.
$14 billion. Wow.
Yeah. And that represents about 14% of their total global production, so not insignificant.
Not at all. That's a good chunk already.
And what's also notable is that it's not just Foxconn doing this.
Oh. Who else?
Well, other big Apple partners in India, names like Pegatron and even the Tata Group, they're also expected to start manufacturing these Pro models, probably, in the near future.
The Pro model specifically.
Yeah, and these are the more complex ones to build, right? They've got, larger batteries, those improved cameras, titanium bodies sometimes.
So a higher bar for manufacturing expertise needed there?
Exactly. It requires a bit more.
And just to be clear, it's not only the Pro models getting made in India.
No. The standard iPhone 16 made in India is also anticipated to be available pretty much at the same time as its global launch.
Okay. So putting it all together, what does this really mean for, the bigger picture?
Well, it definitely signifies India's growing importance in global electronics manufacturing, especially for these really high-end devices.
Right. A major player now.
Yeah. And it also highlights how these huge tech companies like Apple are really trying to build more resilient supply chains, spreading the risk, making sure they're not too reliant on just one region, geographically diverse.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Building in some backup plans, essentially.
Precisely. So this shift, manufacturing these premium iPhones in India instead of just China, it's a really noteworthy development. Could have some pretty long-lasting effects on the whole tech industry and maybe even global economies,
Definitely something worth watching and thinking about its implications. Stay tuned for more such intriguing stories to come on the WION podcast.